Hello and welcome to the show. This is Everything Under the Sun. My name is Ty. Hope all of you are doing incredible today. Hope your week has been amazing. It's been pretty hectic for me. I made that move. I kind of spoke about that in the last episode. Very thankful for the new space. It's definitely a lot bigger. I'm not sure if you can kind of hear the echoing a bit more. I have some music playing that kind of helps to balance out the echoing, hopefully. So hopefully that's not too distracting either for you. And yeah, let me know. Like, send me an email, send me a message on social media or whatever if you like the new music. If you don't, I can always change it up. I plan on kind of like changing it up. I'm not one to keep things the same. I always like things to be fresh and new and kind of just invigorating. You know, there's different feeling when we have different things that we do in our lives. I spoke in an episode about how when we change our habits, like fasting, it's something that's done with more than just food. We fast from habits, and that's something that can break us out of the monotony or the mundaneness of our everyday life. Do something different, drive a different way to work, do something that you appreciate differently in each and every day. Meditate differently at different times and different places. Like, allow yourself to appreciate the dynamics and the diversity that life offers. Like, this life offers so much diversity and differences, and people will look at those as bad things in so many different cases. But the reality is, if you can value how flowers bloom differently, how there are different colors of different things that we see with our own eyes, if we can realize that differences are beautiful, then we just have to apply that same vision, that same sight, that same knowing to all the differences that we see. It will make your world a lot better, a lot brighter, a lot more colorful, a lot more pleasing. You find a lot more people want to smile at you because you recognize that you love seeing the smiles of all people, different people. You love seeing the comfort that is brought when you can be with another person and just, enjoy their presence. Enjoy the differences of being able to meditate in your own home, in your own space, but also have that calm and that peace when you're out and about, when you're in a big city full of thousands of people. It's when we appreciate these differences that we can find ourselves in different circumstances, yet we can remain the same. We can remain at peace. We can remain in that place where we want to be, because we all want to be at that place where we feel peace, we feel calm, we feel understood, we feel not judged. And when we judge the differences of the world, we're really judging ourselves. And ask yourself, the judgments that I'm casting on the world, do I have judgments that I cast on my own self? And does that feel good? Because that's the question. It's always, does this feel good for me? And if we moved more with the feeling of, does this feel good for me? Then a lot of us will be more in alignment with each other. Because again, we all want happiness. We all want love. We all want to appreciate this life. And so often we don't. So often there are situations and things that push us outside of that feeling that we want to be in, outside of that life that we want to live. And something I kind of wanted to speak about today, it's been on my mind over the past week. It's something I heard. It was a woman speaking about how our intentions, the things that we desire for ourselves in our lives, the goals that we have, the things that we want to achieve in our lives, these things are kind of like invitations that we're sending out. We're sending them out to the universe, but at the same time, it's kind of like sending out an invitation to a party, but you're sending different invitations with different times and different days and different locations to all these different places, and then no one shows up to the actual party because there was no consistency in the invitation that was being sent. And so often we have these invitations of our intentions, of our goals, of the things that we desire to feel for ourselves in our lives, to have for ourselves in our lives, yet we send that invitation out saying, yes, I want that. But then there are other invitations that go out saying that, oh, but this is a situation. Oh, but that thing that happened years ago. Oh, but, I'm not sure if I have enough money for this, or I'm not sure if this is something that is the right move right now. All those buts don't feel as good as that thought of having that thing or achieving that thing or being in that place. So we're sending out multiple invitations with different locations, different times, and different places, and it's not syncing up. And this is why it seems like it's taking so long for us to experience the life that we want to live, because we're not sending out the right signal. We're not sending out a consistent signal. It's something that's staticky. It's like you're turning your dial to a radio station and you're kind of in between towers, and there's like a lot of static, and there's different music playing and overlapping over each other, and it's confusing, and you just want to change the channel, but it's kind of like you're stuck on that channel. I'm not sure if you've experienced that before. I mean, I know a lot of people don't listen to the radio that much anymore, but if you're traveling in between towers and you lose your signal, it starts to mumble up with another station. It starts to overlap with that station. And then the sound, I mean, it's just like you hear your favorite song and then you hear this other song that just randomly pops up, and it's like, okay, I just want to change the channel because it's not something that's pleasing. Even though my favorite song is playing right now, there's all this other noise that's blocking up this channel, and I just want to like just turn from it entirely. And oftentimes, that's the same thing that's happening within our own minds. We're sending out that signal of what we want, but then all these other things are starting to cloud it up. It's starting to cloud that. And of course, you want to find that station with that song in clarity. But right now, you're in a place where that is overlapping. There's a lot of static. And in order to clear that static, we have to refine that signal. We have to refine that invitation. We have to set our intentions and despite what the eye see, what the experiences that you come across in this life will tell you or show you, hold on to that knowing of what you desire for yourself in your life. There are so many things that will keep us blocked and keep us from even taking that next step, taking that first step into the life that we want for ourselves, because we feel as though there are obstacles there, but we are the ones that are creating those obstacles. And there may be very real things, physical things that may stop you from taking a step forward, but it doesn't mean that you can't still move forward. A lot of times we're basing our actions based on the physical things that are happening in this world, but our mental state, our mental space is not there yet. We have to align ourselves with our intentions. Align yourself with the invitation that you want to send out. I am successful. So what does it feel like to feel successful? Feel that feeling of what that success means. And it doesn't have to be something that you're looking for as a form of physical validation of that success, but what does the feeling of it feel like? Does it feel good? Hold on to that feeling, appreciate that feeling, value that feeling, because then when you look in your wallet, when you look in your bank account and you look at the business expenses and you're realizing, oh man, I'm based on these physical things, it doesn't look like I'm successful. That's that invitation that you're writing and signing out and sending to a different location with a different time, with something completely off from the invitation that you wanted to send. Get back to that feeling. That's aligning that invitation to make sure you're sending it out on all fronts. It doesn't matter if I look in my wallet or look at these business expenses and see that it's not what I judge as being successful. My success comes from within. How do I feel? And what does it feel like to be successful as I know that I am? Feel that feeling, embody that feeling, align with that feeling, and you're aligning with that invitation. Start making actions and moves and thoughts and beliefs that start surrounding that same idea. Does a successful person think, oh, like, will this thing pan out or will it just burn to the ground? Successful people have successful mindsets. What is the mindset that you wish to exhibit? And all these things, I speak of success because so many people are very business oriented, very like go get 'em type of attitude. But at the end of the day, everything that people are seeking in this life is something that we desire to have because we feel as though it will bring us happiness. Recognize that your happiness is paramount. Recognize that your happiness is the reason why you even wake up in the morning and continue throughout your day. It's the hope that something in this day may bring me happiness. Something in this day may bring me joy. And even though we've diminished ourselves so much to go into the routine of going to work and doing the same ebb and flow of life, that job is providing you financial means that you are allowing to accept into your life. You're allowing this employer to pay you the amount that you feel is acceptable at that moment, and you're receiving money, and you're hoping that the more money that you collect from this employer will bring you to some kind of financial stability in your life that's going to allow you to live the life of happiness and ease and whatever it is that you want. The root cause of everything that we do in this life is for our happiness. We get in relationships for happiness. We get in, friendships and things like that for happiness. And it's just like the pure joy of doing it, because children don't have some ulterior motive of wanting to be friends with each other. They just go out and play because they want to do that. So it's important that we always recognize that our happiness is something that we desire above all else. So when we're sending that invitation out, recognize the feeling, because the feeling will align you with every invitation that you want to send out. It will put the same date, it will put the same place, the same time, everything, as long as you recognize the feeling that you wish to have. And it is happiness. But sometimes it's hard for people to find happiness because their invitation has been sent out to so many places that they're even confused about where they are. When is that party? When is it going to show up? Like, I'm waiting for it, but I got an invitation saying it was at this place, or it was over there, or it was at that job, or it was in this relationship. And all the while, it was my own happiness that I was seeking. It was my own joy. It was my own affirmation, my own validation of myself that I was seeking, because that feels good. That feels easy. Being myself, it feels easy. It is easy, yet I've put on these masks. I've put on these things that the world would tell me to put on, because I felt as though that was where my party should have been. I felt as though that was the invitation that I was sending out, I guess. Since everyone else is sending out that same invitation, I guess that's the one that I should be sending out. Yet this feeling that I have tells me I want this other thing. You can see how our ideas, our thoughts, the internal world that we have is what keeps us stopped in our place, keeps us stopped in our tracks, keeps us from moving forward. Take the steps that you need to bring yourself in that place of happiness. So even if it's in your imagination to start with, then do that. Imagine the life of your dreams, and don't think about all the contingencies. Don't think about how to get there. Don't think about any of that. Just feel it. Feel the feeling and recognize the smile on your face, and recognize how good that feels, and hold on to the value of that feeling, because when something else comes in to disrupt that, you can remember it and you can value it so much that you will not accept anything less. You won't want to accept anything less, and you'll realize that you don't need to accept anything less. I promise you that. And happiness, it starts with recognizing that you deserve it, recognizing that you want it, recognizing that it feels good, and that you can have it, that it's already yours here for you. But we have to get rid of this static that's in our minds. We have to get rid of all of it. And it's a process, of course, but the process is feeling your way back to that feeling of, yes, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. And even if we look around ourselves and we find ourselves in an environment that we don't want to be in, and friends and situations that we don't want to find ourselves in, it doesn't mean that we have to judge that at some point. Everything and every situation has been in our lives for some reason. It's at some point we wanted to be in that relationship with that person. Later we found out that they were abusive. But at some point we can look around and say, I did see those signs. I saw the red flags. Or maybe I didn't see them. Maybe I was too blinded by, all the other pretty things that they did, or other, really incredible things that they did, that it made me kind of just like overlook those things. But right now I see clearly. And I recognize at one point I did want to be in a relationship with this person, but that person isn't the person that I idealized. I idealized an image in my mind, and that image was so strong that it allowed me to overlook all these red flags. And if I can create an image in my head of something so magnificent, something so incredible, even if, it turns out not to be, then I think I can use my imagination for better good. I think I can use my intentions, use my desire, use this passion that I have for something else that's more in alignment with myself. And yes, even though I did want this relationship at one time, it's no longer something that's serving me. And I deserve all good things in my life. So as we move forward, just in this life and in your life, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to. And this is all about what you want to do. But I know, we are one and the same. And I know that you want happiness. I know that you want peace. I know that you want ease and joy in your life. Love. It's it's really the common denominator in all of our lives, and if this is understood, then we can start to align ourselves with our best intentions, and all we have to do is focus on ourselves. And it may seem like a selfish thing, but I promise you, when you focus on yourself and the love that you want to give to yourself and the non-judgment that you want to give to yourself, you will extend it to others, because it feels heavy to judge others. It feels heavy to put expectations on others, just like you don't want to put expectation on yourself. These things feel heavy. And when you start valuing yourself so much that you let those expectations go of yourself, you'll let them go of others. And then others will want to be around you more. Others will feel comfortable around you more. They will let down those guards. They will let down their expectations. They will be happier. Then you find yourself surrounded by incredibly joyous people, people that want to enjoy just spending time with you just because they want to. And you enjoy spending time with them because you want to. You move through life, and it's fun and it's easy because there are situations that come up, but they don't bother you as much, because you recognize the value of your happiness, and you're like, if this is something that doesn't feel good for me, then I'm not going to look at that anymore. I'm not going to think that anymore, because most of our bad feelings come from our bad thoughts. And if you spend like 15 seconds just thinking about something good, something that like brings a smile to your face, I promise you, you'll do it for more than 15 seconds. It'll just be something that you want to. You're attracted to it naturally. Think about a time that you were the most joyous in your life, the most at peace in your life. Maybe a time with a really good friend or a family member. Everyone's laughing and it feels really good. Go back to that feeling and feel it. And maybe you'll find yourself even holding on to that longer than 15 seconds. Maybe you start thinking about it for longer than 15 seconds. And then recognize where your thoughts go, because this is the determining factor of how you've been thinking. If after a few seconds, your mind starts to go from that really joyous feeling to, oh, that person is not alive anymore. Oh, I wish I can go back to that time. Oh man, things have changed so much. My life isn't like that anymore. I really wish I had friends like that in my life again. Recognize how those thoughts feel. They don't feel good. Don't hold on to them. Things have changed. Things always change. But with the realization that at one point I didn't have all of those friends. I made all of those friends. All those friends came to my life in different ways and helped to create that experience. You know what? I think I can do that again. I think I can find friendships again. I think I can create relationships again that are meaningful and create experiences that bring that much laughter, bring that much joy, bring that much peace. I think I can do that again. You know what? I know I can do that again, because I feel that I can do that again, and it feels really good. And I don't even have to think about the details of how that's going to happen. The only thing I have to focus on is how I'm feeling when I'm walking through my life. Because on this new path that you want to go on, you want to feel a certain way, right? You want to surround yourself with certain people, right? So it's a matter of you allowing yourself to be that way, and that's going to attract those people into your life. It has to. And as that happens, you find yourself sitting and thinking about the new relationships that you've gained and realize that, wow, this is a direct result of this feeling that I've been carrying, this consistent feeling that I've been navigating my way around these old thoughts and old beliefs and old systems and patterns that I've been going by. And now I'm starting to trust myself and believe myself and recognize the value of my own happiness. And that's what I'm going to keep moving towards. Recognize where your invitations are being sent. And are they being sent to the right people, to the right places, with the right dates and times and locations? These are your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs. Are they in alignment with that feeling of joy that you wish to experience? Are they in alignment with that peace that you wish to experience? There may be a neighbor or a coworker that bothers you so much. It's annoying to you, but does that annoyance feel good for you? Or does it feel better to think, that person's on their own path, and I don't have to engage if I don't want to? That feels a lot better. You can even go a step further and say maybe that person doesn't have anyone to really communicate with them in a meaningful way, and this is the only way they know how to interact, is by nagging, or causing disruptions, or by insulting other people or talking bad about other people. Maybe that's their only way of getting connections. Maybe that helps you to empathize and put yourself in their shoes in some kind of way, or even just ease your own mind from the hate that you feel for that person or that situation. We think about the worst case situations with things that haven't even happened yet. So what if we turn that around and start thinking about the best case situations, what the alternative situations that can bring us more at peace, bring us more ease? Because we don't know either way. We don't know why that person is acting the way they're acting, but we can choose to say it's because they dislike me, they're judging me for this reason, they're just a nasty person. Those things don't feel good to even think about that other person. When you talk about someone in a bad way, recognize the feeling. It doesn't feel good. But when you say the other person, I don't know their story, I don't know their history, but there must be a reason why they're engaging in the world in this way. That feels a little bit better than saying that you hate that person. Now, again, none of this is anything that you have to do. I'm just recognizing in my own life that it just feels better for me to let go of judgments of others, just like it felt better for me to let go of judgments of myself. I'm just going off of feelings, friends, and for the first time I was talking to a friend for her birthday, and for the first time I said out loud to another person, I was like, I'm happy. I'm happy. And I was saying it to myself like a couple weeks ago, maybe like 2 weeks, or even like last week, that I finally said I was happy. And after so long of I was going through depression, and then coming out of that, I was still waiting for that other shoe to drop. I was waiting for it's like, oh, is something going to happen that's going to bring me out of this joy, or this kind of like feeling that I'm feeling right now, like this joyous feeling? Is something going to happen that just smashes that out of the way? And eventually, just following that joy in my life, following just what felt good, following the realization that I don't have to hold anyone accountable for anything. I don't have to hold myself accountable for the things that have happened in the past. The past is gone. It's swept away. The only thing I can be accountable for is what's happening right now, how I'm feeling right now. And following that feeling more and more, I find myself in situations where if they don't meet that standard, then I don't give it my attention. And I recognize it brings me more joy. It brings me more things in this life. And I mean, it's not even the things that I'm necessarily looking for. They're great, but it's the feeling that I wish to have. I don't want to think about money and like be stressed about it. So anytime financial stress starts to come up, it's like, no, that doesn't serve me. I'm comfortable right now. Where I am right now, it's like, I'm okay. And there can be $0 in my bank account. But if it's like, if right now I feel okay, then that's what matters. And there have been times when that was the situation, and I had to continue to hold that feeling that everything was okay, that I was okay, that it didn't matter. Like, I can look at my bank statement or whatever it is and it not make my heart race. And that's the best feeling to have, because then no circumstance can start to weigh you down. And as new circumstances come up, harder and harder circumstances, things that maybe you've been fearful of, or things that you've been carrying for a long time, conversations that you've been avoiding for a while, you realize those are a little bit easier to navigate now that your focus is on your own well-being, on your own happiness. So again, you don't have to do anything, nothing that you want to. I'm just speaking from my own experience, and I know that I'm not someone that's special outside of you. I know that we are one and the same, and that this happiness, this joy, this love, this peace in walking through this life, it's something that we can all have, that we all have. And it's here for us. And for so long, and I know for so many, it doesn't seem like it. But I promise you, feel your way to it. It's like, it's all right here. It's all right here. And And yeah, send out those invitations to the right places. Send them to the place that feels good. Guide your life in the way that feels good for you, and it will bring you incredible things in this life. So that's all I really had for this episode. It's been something on my mind that I was thinking about for a while, and yeah, again, let me know about like the music. I know the acoustics kind of strange. I have to find a good place in here that's going to be better for the sounds. I mean, there are high ceilings and very open floor concept type of space, so I'm not really sure what's going to be the best. Even the closet is pretty big, so yeah, it's something that's going to be a work in progress. But yeah, let me know. I'm going to listen back through this, and I'm sure it's going to be fine. And yeah, either way, I love you all. I'm so thankful for you. If you want to join in the social media groups, Instagram, Everything That Sun Podcast, Twitter at Every Sun Podcast, the Facebook group at Every Sun Podcast, and the YouTube page, Everything Under the Sun Podcast. And yeah, that's all I got. Love you all so much, and I'll talk to you soon.